Welcome back to the program. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Of course, before we went on that break, Ajibola did say today on the program, it's all about political. It's political discussion. And as much as many think that it is too early to start campaigning or to start talking about 2027, we know how we do our thing here in Nigeria. We start early. So maybe in 2025, of course, we're beginning to feel the pulse and say what 2027 will be all about. So on the program today, we'll be taking a look at 2027 Battle of the Titans, APC versus ADC. Ironically, both of them are three-letter words from their acronyms. Of course, what are the odds? What exactly are we dealing with here? And when we talk about these two political parties, should the APC be worried about the rising factors or the rising state of the ADC, or is it a tea party for the APC? Should the APC go to bed, especially with all the endorsements here and there, and just assume that 2027 is a done deal? Our guest is here on the program, and together this morning, Ajibola and I will engage him and we'll take a look at the prospect of these two political parties. Join us this morning as a welcome Adewale Adeoye. Thank you for being on the program.
Good morning.
Today.
Good morning, viewers.
Well, Mr. Adeoye, let's start from the angle that we read on the news this morning that a particular person is still laying claims to the leadership of the ADC, still saying that he remains the chairman of that political party, irrespective of the emergence of David Mark, Rauf Aregbesola, Abdullahi Abolaji, and a couple of others who are currently saddled with the responsibility of leading, the leadership of the ADC. For you, do you see this as just a ramble, or is this something that the ADC should worry about, that some person is still laying claim to the fact that he remains the rightful leader or the chairman of that political party?
I think that when you are having a coalition, there's the need to be meticulous. There's a need to engage in consultation, wide consultation. There's a need to have meetings upon meetings. There's a need to draw up agreements and agree on how to share positions. But when this is absent, you are going to run into a lot of challenges.
Okay.
I think if you have read the newspapers in the past 1 month, even at the state level, the ADC has some challenges where people are claiming ownership, people disputing who is the chairman or not. So it shows clearly that there is a general feeling that the ADC is rushing to the coalition without being meticulous, without taking the normal procedures.
Okay.
And this is what you have when political parties are owned by individuals, instead of when the party emerges out of the free will of the people, based on the decisions of people right from the local level. But once you have a situation where you want to build a house from the rooftop, where decisions are taken at the center and then imposed on the local people, local communities, wards and states, definitely are going to have so if they don't move fast to resolve the problem, it may create a lot of legal hurdles which might affect the chances of the ADC in the coming elections.
Okay, so sorry, Ajibola, just as a follow-up to that will be the fact that at that last meeting where, of course, the party endorsed David Mark and others, INEC was said to have been present at that particular meeting. What is the role of INEC here, especially from your last statement that they may run into more murky waters if care is not taken? So which of the factions now should INEC be dealing with if INEC was present at that meeting?
The INEC is supposed to act on information. If INEC is invited to a meeting of a political party, and at that moment there is no counter invitation, there is no a legally binding instrument that says that INEC should not attend that meeting.
Okay.
Of course, INEC will go and attend that meeting.
Right.
But that does not mean that after attending meeting that people cannot raise legal hurdles. Right. Sometimes these meetings are held, and those who want to oppose them, wait until they have gone ahead to hold such meetings. So INEC is just it's an umpire. And if when the parties decide to go to court, INEC has the option than to obey the decision of the court. Right. So INEC has no final say when it comes to which party should be legally recognized or not. It is the court that has to decide. So mere attending the meeting of a political party because you have been invited does not confer on that meeting a legitimacy, a legal status. Right. There could still be some. Fine. Yeah.
Okay. From your statement this morning, does it look like the ADC now, with all the noise and the meetings that they have been having, it's just going to be a flash in the pan, and that will give the APC the confidence to go to bed and feel that the 2027 general election is going to be a tea party?
I think that any ruling party, this is just a general observation, that assumes that the next election, presidential election, is going to be a tea party, then it's not a serious party. Because we have seen situations where an incumbent was defeated. Right. It has happened several times at the state level. It has now happened at the presidential level that an incumbent, a party that has been in power for 16 years, was defeated. So if I'm asked the question, can ADC be defeated? Oh, APC can be defeated, and in fact, they will, floor them on the ground. It is possible. It's a possibility. And why is it possible? There are so many objective factors, that speak to history. For instance, let us look at the voting pattern in Nigeria. We had about 93 million registered voters in the last election. And if you look at the number of people that voted for the presidential election, it was around 32 million. So there is a deficit of about 65 million voters that are yet to make up their mind. So it means that there's a virgin land of 65 million voters, that a serious party, a party that is driven by the people, that is driven by the interest of the people, can galvanize the masses and create a momentum that cannot turn the table against the ruling party. So when you look at the voting pattern, that one is there. If you also look at the economic indices, well, these are the inherited problem, but there are enough conditions for any serious party that, to mobilize the people and say, look, we want a change, for a better, a better alternative for the people. And if you also look at elections, local government elections that have been going on and all that, there's a kind of voters' apathy. So you need a party that can galvanize the people, that can inspire them. Now the question is this. In terms of APC and ADC, the ADC has the capacity to confront the APC? I tell you that potentially the ADC can. But in terms of the reality on the ground, I think the ADC may not be able to, come out as a viable alternative to the APC. Why am I saying this? In 2015, that the APC was formed, I think, 2014. And then we had the presidential election in 2015. What manner of opposition did we have in 2015? We had the whole, ACN as a party came together with the entire CPC, with the entire ANPP, then with a huge bloc from ABGA to form the APC. In fact, I think that alliance, the A was taken from ABGA. Okay. Then P, Progressive, was taken from ACN. Okay. Then I think C, Congress, was taken from CPC. So, and apart from that, there was a moral, a charismatic figure in the person of Buhari, who had been recording no fewer than 10 million votes consistently in a particular part of the country. The other thing I also counted on the part of the ruling party was that the ruling party at that time that counted on the APC, a chunk of the ruling party led by people like Saraki and others, they left the ruling party to form an alliance with the APC. And we had about 6 governors who were serving, who decamped to join the APC in 2015. And then it was an alliance between majorly the Northwest and then the Southwest. And if you look at the number of voters, INEC, the Northwest has the highest number of voters with 22 million, followed by the Southwest with 17 million. So these two pillars, once they agree to work together, is a major factor. What follows, I think, is North Central with about 15 million. Then South-South with about 14 million. The Southeast has the lowest number of with 10 million voters. So that dynamics is yet to change as we speak today. Now, take the ADC, for instance, which the leading political figures in Northwest and Southwest are not in ADC. There is no serving governor.
What about Romeo?
Well, I said the leading is a leading, but it's not. At that time in 2015, the most influential political figures were, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu and then Buhari. In the Southwest, Oromia is an influential figure, but not the most influential figure. Sure. That's the reality. Sure. So, now we also have a situation where the leading figures in Northwest and South-South, and Southwest were with, the APC
at that time.
And then this time around, we are looking at a fraction of the PDP in ADC, a fraction of Labour Party in ADC, a fraction of CPC,
even APC,
and a fraction of APC. But this, at the risk of being immodest, these are footnotes. Take the states of these people we are talking about. When Asiwaju and Co joined the APC in 2015, they were in control of their states. They were in control of their region.
Yes.
Erufai is not in control of Kaduna State.
True.
At all.
As we speak.
True.
Legitimately, Ogbeni Aregbe, Shola, a very revolutionary figure, very energetic, and one of the people I admire. Is not in control of Osun State as we speak. Atiku, we cannot say even Atiku is in control of Adamawa. Amechi, in fact, is more or less living in exile when you look at Rivers politics.
True.
So these are the people that have come together to form the ADC. So in terms of the momentum that the APC was able to generate in 2015, back with the fact that there was the preponderance of feelings that power should go back to the North in 2015. A lot of people felt, look, Jonathan had 6 years. Unfortunately, Yaradua died. That look, we think power should go back to the North. That sentiment for now is absent.
Right.
I think a lot of people still feel that, look, the Southwest
still deserves
should have 4 years and then another 4 years.
Making 8 years.
Making 8 years. I think that's a popular feeling, even in the North. So El-Rufai is not in control of Kaduna State. The current governor in Kaduna State now, Sani, is in fact son of the I can say belongs to the kitchen cabinets of the current president. So then, in the past we had opposition, the PDP and then Labour Party. The ADC came out of mainly from PDP and Labour Party. So it's more or less like a third party emerging from the opposition. So I think it's going to be very difficult. Combined with the fact that the South-South is usually the duck that lays the golden eggs. Right. Where we are talking about the financial muscle that supports presidential candidates of northern candidates. Almost every state in the South now is in the APC, including Bayelsa. I can assure you that very soon there are feelings. I've met people that are very close to the governor of Bayelsa that look. So how did you want to? If the South-South is with APC, the Northwest is largely with the APC. Southwest is the APC. How did you want to? I also know that in their own game plan, they are looking at factionalizing the votes of the Southwest. And the strategy is to have a multiplicity of presidential candidates. Maybe you are going to have somebody like Makinde. They are going to have somebody like, I'm not sure whether Aregbe would like to run as a candidate. But we should ask ourselves, would that be formidable enough to challenge,
the popularity of the
popularity of the
Yeah, I mean, so that you would probably just take this into what you were about to say. You've talked about the power block. You've talked about, the muscle, whether or not the ADC has that muscle, especially the financial muscle, to take on the APC. And so as we look at that, the power of incumbency, it plays a huge role, even though at the beginning you did say that it is not cast in stone.
Yeah.
The APC may be defeated because they also defeated, some party, the PDP, in 2015. So let's look at the power of incumbency. What exactly, what are the odds or the things working at the moment for the APC that may likely also work for them at the 2027 election?
For us at today, I may not be able to speak for tomorrow. I can't speak for tomorrow. Only God can do that. But I think the APC has, if I'm right, I think about 22 governors.
Yes,
22, 23.
22.
Now, the APC has about 70 senators and still counting out of about 108, 109. And then we are talking about people in the parliament. The APC has comfortable majority. Even Labour Party has lost, I think, about 2 senators to the ruling party.
Right.
What factors that are in favor of the APC? Number one, the traditional network of the president himself. A lot of you may not know that he was a PDM with Yaradua. And I think that was the most hegemonic political force recent history has ever witnessed in Nigeria. You remember the elections of June 12 before it was, Yaradua was banned from contesting. That produced Abiola. They won everywhere, overwhelmingly. So I believe that as far back as 1992, the current president has been able to build network in almost every community in Nigeria. So, it's a long-term plan. If you go to Borno State, go to, Yobe State, you will see people who are fanatical about the president. And not just today. We are not talking about post-2023 politicians or post-1999 politicians. It's been there for a very long time. And I also think that his network with the ruling class in the north will count in his favor. Then his ability to negotiate with the opposition and to woo them over. Whoever imagine that we can get the governor of, we can get Wike, for instance. Whoever imagine that we can get the governor of Edo State, for instance. Whoever imagine that Cross River, Akwa Ibom. Since 1999, this axis, including Delta, the axis has always constantly supported the PDP. Within the past 2 years, he has been able to woo them over. Not using do or die tactics like we had in the past, that, we are going to win the election by force, do rigging and all that, but through negotiation, through offering of carrot and then, maybe the stick. So I think his ability to negotiate with the opposition, I think is going to work in his favor.
Okay.
To ensure that we'll be able to get a lot of people to. Then it's, his network, his traditional network across the country, I think that is a bonus, for him. But that does not mean that if you have a counter force that can engage the people, that can mobilize the people, they cannot turn
especially with the way the country is at the
yes,
moment. They
cannot turn it. But I don't see the current opposition, even though Aregbesola is a revolutionary and all that, how many of them are in that ADC that can go from one street to the other, going to rural areas, going to mountains, high hills to talk to people? And will people listen to them? If Atiku is talking to you, you have to look at his background. 8 years as vice president, we presided over the privatization of the commanding height of the Indian economy. So what do you want to offer? Is it Malami that will come and talk to you? I mean, we won't forget what happened for the 8 years.
That he was
the
under
vision of communities
yeah.
and also. So, who is that figure? Is it Obi? Obi ran Anambra State for 8 years. Compare with Lagos, Lagos to me, is better. the 8 years compared with 10. So what is the slogan? What is the inspiration?
Right. What are they bringing on the
Yeah,
table?
what are you going to tell the common man on the street? You all said that you will remove the lawyer subsidy.
Right.
Now you are crying that, oh, are you now saying that you are not aware of the consequences? So there's no revolutionary alternative. Even though Nigeria is in a revolutionary station, there are no revolutionaries that are here to inspire us to say that, okay, let us vote for another candidate.
Okay, although we have not heard from former President Goodluck Jonathan, but his name is coming up these days, and people are insinuating that he might be the one to get the ticket of the ADC. If eventually he gets this ticket, would that create any kind of problem for the APC?
You see, there is a strategy by a small group, very powerful, very intelligent in the north, to create, to reinforce illusion. They will have various candidates and negotiate with them and say, look, don't worry, we are going to support you. They will go to this person, don't worry, we are going to, but don't share the perspective with anybody. So at the end of the day, people have a feeling that, oh, I'm going to be the candidate of this group. But their strategy is to ensure that they further divide your rank, so that they can, they can come in to patch and then exploit, feast on this division in order to be able to strengthen their own position. So there are all sorts of kites being, they are flying a lot of kites. But I can tell you that this strategy is a divisive strategy, because you are going to Amechi also wants to be president. You are going to Makinde. You are going to now Jonathan. So it's a strategy. It's a strategy to divide the South, so that they cannot come as a formidable front. And if they are wise enough, they should be able to weigh the options very well, and they realize that these are just tricks to ensure that they have their own candidate. They know where they are going, and at the fullness of time, they will come up with that candidate. And if we are not careful, they will have succeeded in dividing all of us. That at the end of the day, we are going to fractionalize our votes and then give the way for them to. But I think people are wiser.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of people are wiser than.
Okay, so though we're talking about, the APC versus the ADC this morning, but we do know that ADC is not the only political party, looking into 2027. We still have the Labour Party still there. We still have the PDP trying to get out of their problems and all of that. And I know that you've talked about, all of the things that may work in favor of the ADC. And the ADC is supposed to be a coalition from, what they've said from the onset. But then again, as it stands, we're not sure whether it is a full coalition. But if we look at, that party itself, what makes it a viable alternative to the APC in the first place? Because, I mean, here you just minutes ago, you did say that the individuals that, are even there as the leaders of the party, what did they do when they had the opportunity to have proven themselves to Nigerians years ago when they held, other positions? They didn't bring much to the table. But if you look at that party at the moment, is this such a viable alternative to the APC?
Well, in terms of having a rallying figure, that people can say, oh, I want to vote for this person because of his principle, because of his background. Part of the reasons why people supported Buhari was that, look, people look at the first 18 months of his coming to power, that in terms of how he fought corruption and indiscipline, people, were inspired by that. Unfortunately, when he came to power, I think a very small cabal in the CPC took over leadership from him. And so we could not get that direct result based on the aspirations of many Nigerians. I think the ADC for now, I don't know who is going to be the prayer candidate of the ADC. But for me, I can't find anyone that has not been tested. That we can say, okay, let's give him a chance. We have tested Amechi for 8 years. We have tested Atiku for 8 years.
Even David Mark was Senate
We have
president.
tested David Mark for many years. In fact, from the time of military.
Yes, I mean,
he was
he
there,
spent
he was
almost
a minister,
16
was in military,
years.
so he was minister. So what new story do you want to tell us? At almost 70-something. Then Malami, we have tested him for many years. So who is that new blood that want to give Nigerians that hope? oh, the Sharaki group and all that. We've seen them. We know them.
But Saraki is still in PDP.
Yes. So
although we know that Bolaji is his boy.
Yes. So it's a Bolaji that want to come and pick. I know him very well. But these people they are deluding us. They are fooling us. We know them. We know their antecedents. So there's no new song, no new story
that we want
to tell Nigerians. And Nigerians are aware. Well, they are not happy. They are hungry. People are not happy with the system. But they are also intelligent to know that, look, they bear the hand.
Can we stick with with this devil?
Can we take our future? Because by the time they get there now, you discover that you start regretting. That it's not better we stick to the person that we know than, going to go and put all our, and to begin to support it. So there's no inspiration. There's no an inspiring leader. I've not seen that coming. Maybe tomorrow, maybe they can. And I don't think that the opposition figures they are not serious.
Okay.
Has anybody come to your house to come and talk to you about, even engaging you about what is going on? Have you seen them going to market people, talking to mechanics, talking to drivers, talking to, students? Have you seen them going to university campus to talk about the future of the country?
They're still planning.
For how long are they going to plan? Okay. They just issue statements all the time and they think that, they are just the same. They are not, I've not been able to see that star that can,
Okay, if you are saying that Nigerians are not deluded from what they are trying to do, there is a particular issue that they are mounting, which is hunger.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, the reality on ground is the fact that Nigerians are not really finding it funny to feed. So if they really, really lash on this, can that create any breakthrough for them? And for the APC, what do you think they should do to address this hunger that they are mounting?
If you have a serious revolutionary opposition, that hunger is enough to move Nigerians and to say, look, we want a change. But it's not enough for you to just talk about hunger. You must also tell us your road plan. Is it that, okay, the first 6 months, I will give 50 million naira to each local government? I hope they will not borrow my idea.
They have to pay for it.
Each local government, I will give 50 million naira. Go into vegetables, essentials of like tomatoes and all that. That's the first thing I will do in the first 6 months. And of course, if a serious government can do that, how many months do we need to grow tomatoes, onions and all that? It's going to create a kind of, paradigm shift. Or you say, okay, I'm not going to take security vote. I'm going to donate it to agricultural department. Or you are going to say that, look, we give palliatives, but these palliatives, I'm investing it not by giving people bags of rice and all that. I'm investing it into agriculture in each region of the country, and I'm going to supervise it. If I give you the first trunk of the palliative, if you don't meet up with my expectation, then I'm going to make sure that you don't get the second, tranche of the money. So then, when you are also talking about agriculture, you also have to locate it within the context of local communities. Let states and local government take control of the agricultural process. And we are going to create a system of monitoring that probably will involve NOGE, local government, that will involve labor, that will involve the media to ensure the local communities are also dealing with this problem. But I don't think that, by just saying that we're going to tackle hunger, then people will believe you.
Right.
You need a roadmap that will convince the people, that will make sense to the people. How many of them are even ready to engage farmers? Farmers have associations. Everywhere, every state, there are farmers associations. How many of them are engaging them, talking to them, that this is what we want to do? So you can exploit hunger, as a weapon to campaign, but you must do it in a way that people will be convinced that you are serious. That it's not just about slogans, that you have a better alternative that people can key into.
Right. Yeah. Before we close this conversation, so the two political parties, I'm not sure they both can shove aside the role of the young people, the youths. Yeah. And so what should they be focusing on at ensuring that, they get a chunk of the young people to believe in their ideas? Both the ADC and APC, a lot of people are not too different from one another. And unfortunately, they both share the same acronym, APC, ADC. What should they be doing ahead of the 2027 election at wooing the youths to their sides?
Well, both the APC and ADC, there's something that's absent. They are doing media communication, but they are not engaged in mass communication. Nigerians are organized along ethnic lines, social lines, cultural lines, and then religious lines, and then across labor. You see a lot of unions, organized, barbers unions, farmers unions, traders unions. I think even the ruling party is not communicating with them. It's not enough for you to just put messages on WhatsApp and then you issue statements and then assume that you already communicate to people. I was a guest speaker at a conference organized last Thursday by Alliance for Yoruba Democratic Movement, made up of about 130 groups, Okada riders, NATA, which is Association of Nigerian Mechanics, established in 1950s. All of them came to that meeting. And the message is that, look, we are not being engaged. We don't even know what is happening. You may be consulting roles, you may be building bridges, but if you are not passing your information down to the grassroots, telling them they are leaders, and these people hold their meetings almost every week. If you are not engaging their leaders and passing the information to them, there is no way people can know that you are achieving, anything. How many people read newspapers? How many people have time to even go to the internet? How many people even have the time to go and see the projects that are doing?
Right.
So apart from media communication, there is the need for mass communication. The same thing also is applicable to the ADC. If you want to engage Nigerians, you have to engage them through their associations. Compile their names. In Southwest, there was a time we did a compilation. We were working with the Ford Foundation at that time with Dr. Becker and Sokuti. I happened to be a resource person. In the Southwest alone, we had about almost 3,000 organizations, registered with their, addresses, with their offices, and who hold their regular meetings. But our politicians are not ready to engage. You want to do this in a hurry. They are interested in just cash programs, bring cash and then distribute to some people. And I think that if we are really serious about democracy, these social forces, we need to engage them all over the country so that the information about what the government is doing, the information about what the opposition wants to do, we will to get down to the grassroots.
Okay.
Okay, my final question this morning. Looking at the people or the political class that we have in the ADC, what they are saying to Nigerians, is it more of coming to render service or desperation for power or the hatred for Mr. President?
I think it's a combination of all. There are some people that just feel that, look, out of what the Yoruba people call the Lara.
Jealousy.
Jealousy, that, look, this man, you remember the build up to the election. A lot of propaganda against the president, a lot of insults, a lot of bad belly, belly aching. But he was able to get there, by sheer luck, and I think maybe by some invisible powers. So there are some people that just feel that, look, we must bring him down. There's nothing the government can tell you that has done that they want to listen. They want to bring the government down at all costs. There are some people that do this for personal reasons. Some people do it for ethnic reasons. They feel that, look, this power belongs to us. It must never slip away from our hands. That it's an insult that somebody is there, we are not in control. Even if we are not in power, we want to be the one controlling the person in power. So they feel they have lost, their zone has lost power, and they are moving around the country to make sure that they bring down the government. So there are also people that are also just there because they are just desperate for power, for the sake of power. So I think it's a combination of all these factors. It's now left for the president to be able to, and his team, to counter, the information with superior argument. If you are not talking and people will believe what they hear on the streets.
Okay, as we wrap up this conversation this morning, we are at least in 2025 towards the last, till end of 2025, and the election is still in 2027. What would be your advice to the APC? Because it appears a lot of concentration is now on, run up to the election, and we are beginning to neglect governance. But as we speak, what should it be? Isn't this the time for the APC to consolidate and, continue to woo the electorates to their sides by offering the dividends of democracy?
Yeah. I think the reason for having political parties is to, be engaged in political activities. Why those that have been appointed or elected into positions, they have to deal with governance. So I think the officials of the presidency or at the state and federal level, they should focus on governance.
Right.
They should conduct more research or researches on what are the needs of Nigerians. It's one thing for you to be doing projects, it's another thing for you to understand what the people really need, what is their priority.
Right.
For me, I think the priority of most Nigerians now is food. And we are not just saying about food, we are talking about good food. Well, a situation where you are buying 1 tuber of yam, 4,000 naira. And if you people cannot afford it, you have to cut it to 2. I think that is not a good situation for our country. A situation where you cannot afford to buy tomatoes, fruits, simple things like onions. The prices are going up all the time. And it means that the government needs an effective price control mechanism. So that people on their own will not just increase prices. Then the government, we have spent 2 years now and 3 months or so. If we had invested in maize, in cereal, in tomatoes and all that, we have been able to see the dividends in the first 1 year. Right. I think we are not investing enough in agriculture. If I happen to have been in a position to advise the president, the first fund that was given to each state, 2 billion, it would have made it compulsory for 1 billion out of that fund to have gone into each local government. Each local government will have received about 50 million naira. And if you have mandated them, give them a matching order, invest this 50 million into in agriculture. I think the first 6 months, Nigerians will have been able to see a lot of difference. So hunger is a major problem. And when people are hungry, they are desperate to do anything. There's nothing you can tell them that will enter their ears. So I think the government can find a way to deal with hunger. I believe that it will go a long way to address the challenges that we are facing as Nigerians.
All right, thank you so much, Adewale Adeoye, for finding time to be with us on the program this morning. We'll take a quick break, and when the conversation returns, Joy and Adebimpe will be here with their Lagos conversation.